I'd like to introduce all our panel to Ms. Afreen Kidwai. She's from Solid Waste India. I wouldn't go at length introducing you, Afreen. I think you should do it yourself, and
Yes,
then we get into the interview.
thank you so much. I'm Afreen. I edit a website called Solid Waste India. We're a news and information website on waste management issues. And it's a pleasure. It's been a lovely evening listening to all of you. And I've got most of what I wanted during the course of this panel discussion. However, I have a few pointed questions for each of you. And I think I'd just begin with Mr. Gabriel because I know the time difference is such. And, then he can go if he thinks he's answered my questions. Uh, Mr. Gabriel, you all have got into this tie-up with the Indian Biogas Association, and there is going to be so much that you can give to our country in terms of information, in terms of training. If you have to give me top three pieces of, if not me, but your counterparts in India, top three pieces of advice, what would you tell them? How to go about making biofuels a top priority for the Indian sector?
But well, first, who am I to give any advice? I can exchange ideas, I can exchange experiences and the failures we have. So perhaps you don't fall in the same traps. Well, I think from a technological perspective, from what I have heard from all my colleagues, I think you are in a very good spot. I think there are what I've heard here from people that really understand the business, that really understand the technology, that understand the trade-offs, because obviously this is a huge opportunity, but there are trade-offs. I would say that an important piece, at least for us here in Brazil, has been the, let's say, all the legal framework that I touched very briefly on my presentation. We as an association, we do not, let's say, we advocate for market mechanisms to incentivize the production and the distribution of biogas and bio-CNG. We believe that these market mechanisms, they are more, let's say, resilient and also more durable than in our environment, the government subsidies. I mean, we have a very particular political situation, which is, each country is going to be different. So what we are afraid is that if we depend too much on government subsidies, when the subsidies go away, then the industry will go away as well. And this has happened in the past with other industries and has had a tremendous effect. So we really believe on developing these market mechanisms, such as the carbon credits.
Yeah.
Obviously, it is important to have the government to incentivize and to encourage these new projects when the industry is just being born. Of course, you need the government to step in and help, but really this has to be the first nudge. Yes, but after, we are strong believers that the industry should walk on their own 2 feet, and we should use technology and creativity to find these solutions to monetize this. So when we talk about using all the waste from the industry, the industries, they should understand that this is a line of revenue to them. Sustainability is not working purely for the environment and for the good of others. Sustainability has to do with profitability as well, because it is the profit that will sustain the company in the long run, and it will sustain the market in the long run. So we have to cross this bridge, let's say, of the sustainability and the sustainability speech, and also to let's say, bring, especially in Brazil, where most industries are located in the south of the country. to diversify this geographic dispersion of the industry and take the industrialization to the countryside where it is necessary for the economy and also to generate jobs. So this is what I could share, let's say, in a few moments.
Yes, no, thank you. It's quite overarching. You've given a good outline. And this would take me to my question to Mr. Shukla. One thing that Mr. Gabriel mentioned is, I'm sorry, there's a lot of noise coming from the background. Is someone could just mute?
Just a minute, Afreen.
Yeah.
Manali, are you online? Manali, you there?
So,
Okay.
one thing that Mr. Gabriel has mentioned in his presentation. Mr. Shukla. Okay. Something I would like to ask you here in India, I think there's a difference in the recognition of waste as a resource, which is absent. The passion that they have in Brazil, do you see that in India? Do you see that as a big hurdle in the activities that you all are carrying out to kind of promote biofuels?
The Indian conditions are always different in many ways.
Yes.
Because we have lot of population and we have lot of owners of the waste. And these owners are going to have their say if you want to use it for any industrial purpose. And it is therefore the support which is required from the government will always be there. Reason being that the outputs which are there from this technology is three. One is the gaseous fuel in the energy form, another the organic fertilizer, and third is the waste treatment itself, and fourth the greenhouse gas emission. So what we have done recently from the Indian Biogas Association side, we have estimated and we have found, and that is how we have written to the government departments recently. We have estimated that if all these four outputs are monetized, and then after monetization they are taken together, then we will find that the investment with the government we are asking for, the form of generation-based incentive and creation of the biogas fertilizer fund, that will be more than that what we are going to get the output. Only thing is that being the social sector kind of setting or the projects, it is not getting added by one single ministry. So different ministries, they are looking at from just like elephant.
Yes.
So elephant, everybody is seeing from different parts, so only that is the elephant. And that is what is happening. So what I am trying to, from the Indian Biogas Associations, I to put forth to the government and to the highest, including the Niti Aayog and the Prime Minister's Office, Ministry of Finance, for the first time we have written from the association, saying that please look at it as elephant. And whosoever is can do it, either the Niti Aayog or the PMO, they should do it. Because individual ministries, MNRE does only energy.
Yeah.
And if we go to the petroleum ministry, they do only from the petroleum or the gas point of view.
Yes.
And if you go to fertilizer or the agriculture, they see from the agriculture, the fertilizer, organic fertilizer point of view, and therefore it is lost. And since I have been the insider, I put all my life in the renewable energy sector in MNRE, in government, and therefore I know the ins and outs. I know the story and the history, how it has gone. And I have seen the moments when in MNRE there were 3 days meeting, all India meeting with all the state governments, and 2 days and sometimes 2.5 days of that was spent on the biogas itself. That was the situation. Then the scenario changed. I have seen how the scenario has changed. When I was looking at the planning, the then secretary said, Dr. Shukla, you see, biogas is moving in any case. Why not to put some funds from the MNRE towards the electricity generation side? And that is where the twist started. Now the MNRE is the electricity generation ministry. They don't talk of energy, though energy is in their name. But energy, they are not putting proper emphasis on that. So, but I do believe since there is a potential, there is a requirement, and I'm a firm believer of that and compassionate for that, that if you want to survive at all, human being, we have to take care of our waste. especially in urban cities. If waste is not treated, our survival is in danger. We cannot survive. And this is the only technology. The biomethanation or the biogas technology is the only technology which handles the liquid waste, the solid waste, loose and leafy biomass waste, and in the most economical manner as compared to any other options. So
Yeah.
therefore, I'm confident, and Gaurav said that certainly the FIRs are going to be large, that my waste has been stolen. And this experience I got when I had a small plant in Kakanagar in Delhi, in my house, biogas plant, and my family was not there. I didn't have waste to feed because I was not cooking myself. So then I thought that situation might come. That is how that thought came. And I shared with everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm firm believer of that it will happen.
Okay, so coordination between ministries is, I think, one main takeaway which I have from what you spoke about and presented. I have a question.
Ms. Afreen, on the same point, I would like to add to Dr. Shukla what he said.
Yeah.
If you see the Gazette document of the Biofuels Policy 2018, there are 10 ministries responsible for executing that and 2 departments. So the whole purpose gets lost in such a maze. So that's what Dr. Shukla mentioned. That has to be simplified and given a more simplified, direct accountability. That's very important.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. And Mr. Rege, actually, what Mr. Shukla said, waste as gold is something you said, your company's name means waste is gold. We have a long way to actually even get there. So my question to you directly is that, there is a tremendous potential to harvest bioenergy from municipal solid waste and collect methane from landfills. But in India, a majority of the landfills, actually, I think most of them, don't even have landfill gas recovery systems. How can you take steps to address these kind of gaps? Very basic steps to kind of address these problems in generating biofuels from municipal solid waste.
It's a very interesting question, because yes, we are generating waste. Wealth from waste, but only we know how deep you need to dig to get to that gold. So yes, I'd like to just give you one simple thing. There is a big demand driver now coming in from the government. This is the first time in the last month where I have actually attended a webinar and a discussion with ministry on legacy waste. This has never even been talked about. So number one, government drives are there. Government is a big driver now to ensure that legacy waste and all these dump sites will, that's one. The second thing is the rules are fantastic in our country. The MSW rules 2016 are fantastic. All is proper implementation. If we just follow the rules and implement it in that fashion, things will be done. Now, how to tap landfill gas, how to cover it, how to extract the gas and use it, all that is very clearly mentioned. The technology is available, the people are available. It's just a question of getting 2 and 2 together and make it 5, not 4. So implementation, the key is implementation.
In fact, Mr. Desai, you had talked, your presentation was very interesting, was very different from normally what I do. Municipal solid waste is what I cover. But you talked about thinking out of the box and generating biofuel from liquids. I would like, that whole just makes me think, this whole point of yours, we're clearly not thinking out of the box. Maybe we need to create a whole enabling environment so that we learn to harness technologies and the potential in places we previously did not think of.
Yes. So, generating liquid from generating bioenergy, I would put it in a broader sense, from liquids is not something that is new. As I said, from municipal wastewater or municipal sewage plants, people often, companies are often generating energy, but that is from the sludge. So first you generate the sludge, then, so if it effectively, it's a solid biomass that from which you're extracting energy.
Yes.
What I was referring to is more direct treatment of the liquid, wherein it's possible to extract energy from the liquid itself. The technology is, it is a challenging technology, because the dry matter which is contributing to the biogas generation is wrapped around in by H2O molecules all around. So extracting that is a challenge. But with the high rate digesters, what typically are, some companies are also doing it in India, There are challenges to execute that, but you would typically have, you can see a net energy surplus plant also if the systems are correctly deployed in those applications. Also, the industrial wastewater or industrial high strength water that it's characterized with, there what happens is, in India currently the norms are very skewed towards thermal uh, treatment, what we call as zero liquid discharge. It's a very fancy word that they use, which is effectively for multi-effect evaporation systems, where you put in a lot of thermal energy, you evaporate, you effectively, what we learned in third and fourth grade, that you distill water, you condense it and then use it, which is extremely energy intensive. You know, that approach has somehow taken precedence over something that is more logical and more technologically possible nowadays, which is, as I said, the high rate anaerobic systems. So this is something that I have discussed with the Indian Biogas Association and with their counterparts in Germany as well. So with global collaboration and cooperation with Brazil, with European biogas associations, if we can get those technologies to India, there are companies who are doing that, but at a very fragmented level. It has to be a more consolidated policy level approach to ensure that every refinery, every dairy, every textile unit, every pharma unit is putting in a water recovery plant rather than calling it an effluent treatment plant. You should call it a water recovery plant. When you are recovering water and using it in your process again. So, you know, there has to be a lot of policy intervention required in that level, and to achieve that, there has to be a lot of technological backing, which I believe a lot of collaboration like the Brazil and the European German Biogas Association, what they have can do. So that's a strong opinion. It can be done. It's being done by a lot of people, but there has to be a concerted push towards that.
And we still have a long way ahead. Mr. Kedia, do you want to tell me a little bit about your association and kind of some recent initiatives which you want me to highlight in our article?
Okay, so as the name suggests itself, we are mainly focusing on biogas. But for us, biogas is not only the biogas. Biogas is a mean to treat waste. Biogas is a mean to provide, how do you say, energy. Biogas is a mean to provide the, how do you say, inclusiveness, also the job, also the women empowerment. And also what Dr. Shukla actually coined when he was in MNRE, he said that it's a biogas fertilizer plant. So we are also equally emphasizing on the fertilizer part of the biogas plant. And of course, we can talk about many more things. And when you talk about Atmanirbhar Bharat or Swachh Bharat or something like this, so that's what we are doing. To be honest, we are saying that it's a single point solution when you talk about so many problems as such. But as we are talking that there is something called theoretical solution and there is something called practical solution. So we really need to bridge this gap as such. And for that only, policy is one thing. We can really come out with a lot of policy, but the enforcement or the implementation, what has been talked right now, is something which is very important. And this is where we come in picture. Whenever we talked about such kind of thing, we always say that we break it down in three different verticals. Number one is the technical vertical. Number two is the financial vertical. And number three is the social vertical. Policy and even different kind of social engineering models that falls under this social vertical. So we try to really model it out. We try to really talk from the solution point of view. That's why we always use the word married to solution. It doesn't need to be the best. What Dr. Shukla said, that it should be as per Indian scenario. So that's something we try to really very much emphasize. I mean, I was in Germany for many years, but if we do the copy paste, this will really is going to fail. In fact, you can just write it down, especially in the sector where the social angle plays a big role. India is a relationship driven society. All the time we talk about it. We need to figure out a model which is a win-win situation. Not only the system, of course, you need the system. I'm not saying. So this is what Indian Biogas Association is doing. We are trying to formulate the whole ecosystem from technical side. Also, we do a lot of financial modeling. Also, from the policy side, we come out with a lot of awareness program, lot of training program time to time with our partner, German Biogas Association. With them, we have got a JV. This partnership project is going on. And apart from the training, we also do a lot of, feasibility study. For example, we did for GAIL, Gas Authority of India Limited, and try to work on the neutral basis so that people understand the intricacies, they try to model it out, because understanding the problem itself is the half of the solution, as we normally say. So we try to really, come out with the solution statement in a very simplified manner. And apart from this, we also did, how do you say, we also set up the biogas lab in India, which was missing earlier in IIT BHU. As Dr. Shukla was saying, time to time, we are arranging all this kind of webinar, working very closely with MNRE, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. So once again, I would say we are doing everything to make it possible on ground when you talk about the biogas or waste to energy solution.
Great. Okay, I think that's about it. Enough questions from my side. Thank you so much. Is it possible?